You're watching WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon. The news continues now at 12:30. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey reporting for WKYT News. Friends, family, and the community are still trying to come to terms with the tragic death of Trinity Gay, the daughter of Olympian and Kentucky native Tyson Gay.
The 15-year-old up-and-coming track star was shot and killed by a stray bullet Sunday night. And for Trinity's great aunt, this tragedy is hitting extra close to home. WKYT's Andrea Walker joins us now to explain in our top story at 12:30. Andrea.
The news of Trinity Gay's untimely death comes as Wendy Hardiman Bell, Trinity's great aunt, is mourning the loss of her own daughter, who was also shot and killed earlier this year. Like Trinity's father, Tyson, Bell is now calling for an end to gun violence.
It hurts. It hurts deeply. It hurts.
The loss of Trinity Gay has impacted people around the world. But for Wendy Hardiman Bell, it opens a deep wound that's not yet healed.
You go through different emotions. You don't know what to do. You just don't know what to do.
Gun violence has taken away 2 young women in under 2 months from one family. Lexis Bell, Wendy's daughter, was killed on her son Zion's first birthday back in August of this year.
You don't know who's outside while we run around here waving guns. Whose child is out there? We don't know.
Wendy is now forced to watch her grandson grow up, never knowing his own mother.
While we shooting bullets, bullets don't have nobody's name. Y'all, they just shooting.
The pain of losing her loved ones has Wendy now begging young men and women everywhere to think outside themselves and about the consequences of their actions.
Violence needs to stop. Guns don't make you nobody. Packing a gun don't make you nobody. Drugs, fast money don't make you. Go get an education. That'll make you.
Arrangements for Trinity's funeral have not been released. We will be sure to pass that information along to you as soon as we get it. At the live desk, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Andrea, thank you. And as for the men charged in connection to the shooting, all 3 have pleaded not guilty. DeMarquio Taylor, his father Chazarez Taylor, and Devonta Middlebrooks are charged with wanton endangerment. Court records show that Elder Taylor is currently on a pretrial diversion for a drug trafficking indictment, and Middlebrooks is a convicted felon. Investigators, who say all 3 men have admitted firing the shots, believe Trinity was caught in the crossfire. It's certainly not the way you'd want to wake up. A Lexington woman says a man broke into her apartment while she was sleeping. It happened around 2:30 this morning at Park Place Apartments. That's at Tate's Creek and Man o' War. Police say the woman woke up to the burglar in her room and chased the man out of her home. But the suspect did get away with some of her belongings.
Police in Hazard say an undercover investigation led on to a big drug bust there. Police say they arrested William Harold at his home in Perry County. Inside, police say they found 81 bags of cocaine, as well as marijuana plants, pills, guns, and more than $2,000 in cash. Harold is facing multiple charges this afternoon, including drug possession and trafficking.
This was one of the bigger finds that we've had recently, but don't surprise us.
Harold is now facing several charges. Those do include, again, the several drug charges, and Hazard police are turning to undercover investigations now to try to get drugs off of the streets.
Some southern Kentucky businesses are being warned about phony money. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says counterfeit $100 bills like these have been used in Corbin. Police say even markers designed to spot fake bills don't detect these fake bills. They say someone even used the fake cash at the sheriff's office. Louisville police say an ambulance was involved in a deadly crash during an emergency run. Police say the ambulance was taking a patient to the hospital and had its lights and sirens on. But when the ambulance went through an intersection against a red light, police say it hit an SUV. That SUV then hit 2 other vehicles. Investigators say the driver of the SUV died. 2 EMS workers and the driver of one of the other vehicles suffered minor injuries.
Franklin, go ahead.
A Franklin County judge has now ordered Governor Bevin to release nearly $18 million to state colleges and universities. The judge said the governor must release the money by Thursday. Earlier this year, the governor cut 2% from the budgets of colleges and universities without the state legislature's approval. Attorney General Andy Beshear then sued, saying the cuts were illegal. The state Supreme Court later ruled in Beshear's favor.
Day after tomorrow, then, on the money evidently being transferred. All right, Donald Trump is campaigning in Colorado today, a day ahead of his third and final debate showdown against rival Hillary Clinton.
The Republican nominee doubled down on rigged election claims yesterday as wife Melania publicly defended him against sexual assault allegations for the first time. Trump also seized on newly released documents that show a top State Department official tried to get the FBI to reclassify an email from Clinton's private server. Well, the battle to drive ISIS from Iraq's second largest city rages on.
Iraqi Kurdish forces advanced on Mosul yesterday with the backing of coalition airstrikes. Turkey's prime minister says the country's air force was involved in airstrikes alongside the U.S.-backed coalition. A UN official says the world body expects people to start fleeing Mosul, quote, basically any minute now. ISIS has been in control of the city since 2014. Well, scientists have long suspected that this ultraviolet glow that existed on Mars was for real.
And now they had the confirmation they needed. Hannah Daniels has the latest.
This is the Mars no human has ever seen before. NASA scientists are giving us the first look at the red planet's fabled night glow, taken from the MAVEN spacecraft.
MAVEN is filling a gap in our understanding where we had really very little idea of how the upper atmosphere operated.
The glow comes from nitric oxide, caused by chemical reactions that start during the day and then settle close to the surface at night, releasing extra energy that comes out as ultraviolet light.
Mars appears to meet all of the conditions required for life, or to have met them at the surface in the past.
Scientists say MAVEN's out-of-this-world pictures bring us one step closer to understanding the Martian atmosphere, climate, and weather patterns. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
All right, so the discovery leads to more questions. MAVEN was launched in 2013. It took a year to get to Mars to study the atmosphere there.
Really
Exciting.
fascinating.
It really
yes.
is, right. Well, you never know what we'll learn from that. Well, Billy Bush is out as one of the co-hosts of the Today Show. NBC News fired Bush.
Now it comes 10 days after a 2005 tape was made public, which showed Bush and Donald Trump having a vulgar conversation about women. At that time, Bush was the host of Access Hollywood. Bush has said he was embarrassed and ashamed by what was on the tape. He had only been with the Today Show for 2 months.
Keep it here on WKYT News. Coming up, a simple tip for people with type 2 diabetes.
And researchers suggest some women may be able to cut back on cervical cancer screenings.
It's all about the temperatures for today. Tomorrow we start to see a few storms for a couple of us, but it really comes through on Thursday with the potential for some severe weather. We're going to get into that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We do have some rain on the way, and it's coming our direction. First, we're talking about temperatures, though. We're in the upper 70s to lower 80s, and we're going to be holding on to the 80s for everybody. Everybody will reach the 80s today. And it's going to be all afternoon long once we get past that 2 p.m. time frame. 4 to 5 p.m. is typically when you hit your high. We're at 81 degrees right now in Lexington, 80 degrees in Monticello, 81 in Williamsburg. Several of us sitting there in the 80s. And did you know this? Today's record high at 87 degrees was recorded back in 1938. This is an almost 80-year-old record. Now think about this. 80 years ago was when we actually hit a record, and with that, the last time we actually felt temperatures like this on October 18th. It's pretty remarkable to think about. London, Corbin, Jackson, you guys at 81 degrees for a record high. I believe we'll actually smash those records. Frankfurt, you're coming in at 88 degrees for a record high. Don't know if you'll actually reach that, but at least we're closing in on it, right? At least we're just talking about it. It's unbelievable. All right, let's go in toward the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. There is that possibility across 64 northbound to actually have a couple of rumbles of thunder. Then we go off into the afternoon, still not seeing much go on. We're in the 80s once again tomorrow. Toward the nighttime hours, I'd still say far northern zones, that's where you have the best chance to actually see a few rumbles of thunder. So tomorrow, it's not a good chance of rain. Most of us stay dry. It's mainly for the north. But then look on Thursday. We head toward the evening and nighttime hours. That's the best bet, is some showers and thunderstorms moving on in. And it's not just the heavy rain. You're talking half an inch to an inch and a half of rain. That's some pretty good rain out of this system. However, but you're also talking about some isolated chances at severe weather. So isolated chance, meaning very low end risk of severe weather, but nonetheless, we're talking about it. Hey, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Micah Harris WX. I always get you updated on what's going on around town. Regina Fultz sent that one in. Really neat looking shot as the fall colors starting to change. There on Thursday, that's the best chance of rain. Then we head off toward Friday as that rain tries to move out as we go through your day. Cooler air really funnels in. We're at 55 on Friday, 57 on Saturday. It's going to be pretty chilly. Yeah, big change. Big
Ready for that?
No, it's going to be here anyway. It doesn't matter if I'm ready for it.
Micah, thank you as always.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. New data on how coffee affects the heart, and can short walks after meals help manage diabetes?
Roxana Saberi has details in this Better Living report.
New research finds a short walk after eating can help people with type 2 diabetes keep their blood sugar levels under control. Doctors in New Zealand found blood sugar levels fell 22% for patients taking a brief walk after dinner compared to patients taking longer walks at other times of day. Heart patients who love their coffee may not have to cut back on it after all. That's according to doctors in Brazil who found no association between caffeine consumed and arrhythmic episodes in people with chronic heart problems. And Harvard researchers suggest women may be able to cut back on cervical cancer screenings from current recommendations of every 3 years to once every 5 to 10 years. They say growing numbers of women vaccinated against human papillomavirus are now at lower risk of the disease. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Roxana Saberi for CBS News, New York.
Okay, lots of interesting info there. And coming up, do you have a little one who likes to help out in the kitchen? Help out, right?
Yes, important safety tips to keep in mind next on WKYT.
Welcome back in. WKYT's Noon News Hour continues, and we're so sure glad you're with us today. You know, cooking with your children is great family bonding time, but it's best if you do have a plan in place before you get started with that.
Nicole Paratori, UK Family Health Specialist, is here to talk about safety in the kitchen. Thanks for coming in.
Glad to be here.
An important part of this.
Yeah. It is, and especially with holidays coming around the corner, there's a lot of opportunity for families to work together.
And you were saying the first thing is don't just turn them loose, right?
No, don't turn them loose. For all ages,
right.
I think that's appropriate.
Right.
Talk about what the expectations are going to be in the kitchen. So what you're going to be asking them to help with, are they going to be stirring, what it is, and a first step for everyone is look at what you're going to be cooking. Have little ones go grab all the material so that they can see there's actually a method to cooking, and also go over things like I don't want you near the stove, if that is appropriate for those children as well.
So you think we really need to concentrate on the preparation part?
Yes, preparation is definitely, that's where the safety is. Whether you're going to be having them mix things, you know, raw eggs, for instance, if you're going to be handling those, making sure that you're handling those properly. And also things, if you have, they're a little bit older, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10-year-olds, if they're going to be chopping things. That's a lifelong skill to be able to use a knife, but you have to be very patient when they're first starting with it.
Well, I was just thinking, really, age dependent would be very important, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and maturity, as that also too plays into it. If you have really young ones, talk to them about mixing things properly and have them help and be involved in those types of activities. As they get older, absolutely teaching them how to use a knife is important. Just make sure you have the time as well to watch them do it. Show them how to do it, show them how to hold the knife, show them how to move your fingers away from the knife, and then progress.
And they may have a greater appreciation of what you've cooked. It may be a good way, I would think, to get them to try things you've been wanting them to try.
Absolutely. Research actually shows when you involve children with making foods, they're more likely not only to taste it, but to enjoy it.
That's good.
Do you have at your website there, at the Extension Service website, some tips like this?
Absolutely. Our Extension Service offices have tons of tips about all sorts of topics. You can reach the website at www.ca.uky.edu or visit your local Extension office.
One in every county.
And
Absolutely.
safe cooking.
Safe
cooking.
We appreciate you. Coming next, thinking about taking on a home improvement project right now.
We have some tips that won't break the bank. Stay with us.
Welcome back to WKYT News as we transition to colder weather months. And I don't know if it's a transition this week. It's kind of like, bam, we're there.
Yeah, we're in it.
But, we're going to be spending more time indoors by necessity. Fall is a great time to think about doing some projects around the house.
Liz Toombs, the owner of Polka Dots and Rosebuds Interiors, is here with advice on how to do it without breaking the bank. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And we can do it without breaking the bank, right?
It is possible. I'm not selling you a lie, I promise.
Right.
Good.
And you were saying the key to this is that you have to have a plan and you have to budget and don't just go out buying things, right?
That's true. What we tend to do is we go to a store, we see a sale, or we fall in love with something on the floor and it's not the right fit. So if you start, you make a list of what you want to accomplish. You kind of figure out what that will cost you so you can set those funds aside. That way you have a big picture plan. So if you do happen upon a sale and something fits within what you're needing, great, take advantage of it. And I always recommend working one room at a time, because if you replace the sofa in the living room, paint the dining room, and then do your countertops in the kitchen, you're spreading it out and you're not really feeling the impact of what you've done. But if you focus on one space, get it completely redone, you'll feel accomplished, and then it will help tide you over until you can build up your funds and start over to do the next space.
Good tip.
As you're describing all that, I think I'm the one who does all the things you're not supposed to do. So what are some other tips?
Well, this may not sound like a budgeting tip, but keep it neutral when you're dealing with your big ticket items like your sofas. If you do something that's a really vibrant pattern or a bold color, it may go out with the trends and then you'll be replacing it sooner than expected. But if you stay neutral, you can do the smaller things, the pillows, the accessories, and the art in the more trendy patterns, and that way you have that long-standing staple as your big ticket item, and it's more classic and it's worth the investment at that point.
When it comes to something like a sofa, a love seat, something like that, recovering, is that sometimes a better option?
It is. That's actually a really good question. So it depends on how the quality was when you first bought it. So if it's a really good quality piece or an heirloom piece that's passed down, always recover it, because what you would pay to replace it today is going to be a lot more. If it's something that it wasn't really a lot, maybe the construction isn't that great on the inside, don't be afraid to toss it, because you could replace it for as little as you would spend on the recovering.
Yeah.
And beware the impulse buys on sale items. I'm going to remember that one.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Liz,
you.
We always appreciate you. Thank you very much
Great
for coming in. Well, we're just about there where this transition is going to be rather sudden as we head into mid and the latter part of the week. Let's check in with Micah before we go.
Yeah, the past few days have been in the 80s, and we're going to stay there today and tomorrow, maybe hitting a record high later on this afternoon. But even if we don't hit it, trust me, you are still going to feel that warmth outside. Now, heading off towards your Wednesday, I'd say most of the action stays to the northern zones. That's your best bet. Still a relatively small chance. Tomorrow, it's more about the temperatures. And then Thursday, here comes that big front. And that will give us showers and thunderstorms to deal with. Right now, the timing on it, remember, this is 3 days out. So it's subject to change depending on the speed of this, if the momentum speeds it up or not. But right now, the timing looks more, the bulk of it, actually comes through during the evening and nighttime hours. That could give us a severe chance. That's one thing Chris Bailey will be focusing in on when he comes in at 4 p.m. to get you updated on WKYT. But on Friday, another thing he'll be focusing in on, pushing the rain on out, and look at these chilly temperatures, guys. We're really going to drop off the map.
Yeah, look at those.
Get ready for that, huh? Thank you for joining us.
The Young and the Restless is next, followed by the Talk at 2.
And our news is always on at WKYT.com. Have a great day, everybody.